Why, hello there, and welcome to the very first Fabulous Folklore guided meditation. Now, before you go, Icy, why have you jumped the shark and gone into guided meditations? You can always skip this one if you'd rather just listen to the podcast episodes. They aren't going anywhere, they will be back. Well, the next one will be along soon, but I just wanted to introduce something a little bit different because I personally find guided meditations quite useful. And the people who have road tested this one for me so far have also found it really useful. So what is a guided meditation? I'm going to give you a little bit of blurb about that first, explain two of the theories about what they are and why they work, and then you can just get into the meditation and see what you think. Basically, a guided meditation is where, as you might imagine, you sit or lie somewhere comfortable and you are guided, hence the name, through this meditation by somebody, in this case me. So you'll get my dulcet tones throughout this process, and you basically have this trip into your imagination to do something, see something, experience something, and then you come out the other end usually feeling incredibly relaxed. So if you get nothing else from it, you get the chance to have a lie down for like 10 minutes, which in my book is pretty class. But you also get the chance to explore an idea in a different kind of way. And this is what leads on to what people think happens during a guided meditation. Now, I've heard a few theories, and it seems to boil down to two things. Either A, you essentially contact a different part of your consciousness that takes the form of the thing in the guided meditation so that you can access information that's locked away up there but that you just can't normally find. So think of it a little bit like a massive version of Inception, except you're kind of in control of what's happening at all times, because you're not asleep, you're perfectly awake, you're just having this trip through your imagination. So in this particular theory, and this is the one I tend to subscribe to, you are accessing different parts of your brain power. The other version is that you are actually energetically connecting with whatever is in the meditation. I mean, I've done ones where you've sort of like walked the labyrinth, you've maybe contacted particular deities, you've had experiences with all kinds of things. And in that version, you're contacting the essence of that thing for information or, some kind of experience or inner knowing or whatever it might be. So you can take whichever approach that you want. They're both equally valid, and you basically choose the one that works for you, which is nice. So the one that's coming up is my very first one, and in this one I decided it would be a pretty good one to meet the spirit of the hawthorn, because hawthorns are fascinating trees, and it was under a hawthorn that Thomas the Rhymer was sitting when he met the Queen of Fairy and ended up in Fairyland. He spent 7 years there as her servant, but then when he came back he had the gift of prophecy, which I personally think is quite a good job perk, and I've been at my job longer than 7 years and I don't have the gift of prophecy, so I think Thomas the Rhymer came out of that one quite well. But that is why we've picked the hawthorn tree for the first one. So please do feel free to give it a listen, just have a go. It's not hypnosis or anything like that, it's basically just a creative way to use the imagination to explore different perspectives and ways of looking at things in your own mind. And as I say, they're only 10 minutes long, so get comfy, make sure you're not going to be disturbed, because that's always really annoying. Find somewhere comfortable and warm, preferably. Like, turn the ringer thing off on your phone. I mean, mine's permanently on silent, but you didn't need to know that. But just make sure that you're not going to be disturbed for about 10 minutes or so, and then just hit play. If you would like to hear this part, or like just the meditation part without all this preamble at the beginning, then if you drop your email in the sign up link below where it says like sign up to get the MP3 version, then I'll just send you the MP3 as it is, and you don't get all me waffling at the beginning. That will of course add you to my email list, but that basically just means you'll get an email every time I post something related to folklore. So it's very much like, hooray, here's a new podcast I've discovered, hooray, here's a new article. It's very value based rather than anything else. But basically sit back and enjoy, and please do post a comment and let me know below what happened. Did you have any kind of amazing epiphanies, any aha moments, or did you just have a really nice relaxing time? Because any of them things is a win in my book. So as I say, lie back, enjoy, and let me know how you get on. I'll see you on the other side. Welcome to this guided meditation to meet the spirit of the hawthorn tree. Now, I want you to get comfortable somewhere and make sure you'll be undisturbed for the next 15 minutes or so. You can sit up with a nice straight spine if that's comfortable, or feel free to lie down if that's better. The fact that you're comfortable is the most important part of this, because you'll be so comfortable that your body can relax while your mind explores other realms. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the hawthorn while you're getting comfortable and you're letting yourself relax, letting all of the tension dissolve from your limbs and letting yourself put aside the worries or thoughts of the day. The hawthorn is most strongly tied up with May Day. Its brilliant white blossoms often cover hedgerows around that time of year. Yet lone hawthorn trees are to be respected, for they are held to be the meeting place of fairies. They were also particularly dangerous places to find yourself on May Day, at Midsummer, or on Halloween. It was said that the 13th century poet and prophet Thomas the Rhymer met the fairy queen while sleeping beneath his favourite hawthorn tree. She led him away to become her servant for 7 years. These trees should never be felled, unless for ritual purposes, and if you cut one down to make way for a new house, it meant death or misfortune for those who would live there. And indeed death would follow if you brought May Blossom into your house. Sleeping in a room with May Blossom present would also bring deep misfortune. There is only one exception. If someone outside of your family cuts a bunch of hawthorn on Holy Thursday, they can lay it among the rafters of your house to keep your house safe from lightning strikes. Likewise, wearing a sprig of hawthorn in your hatband protects you from being struck by lightning. Witches would use wands made of hawthorn for their extra power, and some say the hawthorn's blossom smells of death, with some sources recording it as smelling like the plague. In fact, the blossom contains the same chemicals as decomposing flesh, which explains the similarity in scent. It seems a useful tree then to add to a funeral pyre, as some countries did, so the hawthorn could lead the dead to the next world. Yet the associations aren't all bad. Women would collect dew from hawthorn trees to bathe their faces, in the belief that it made them more beautiful. And if men washed their hands in the dew, it improved their skills in their chosen craft. Hawthorn can also be added into magic to help with love, prosperity, fertility and happiness. So it's truly a magical tree. And I hope by now that you're nice and relaxed, you're nice and happy and you're nice and comfortable wherever it is that you're sitting or lying down. And what I want you to do is I want you to imagine that you're standing at the edge of a wood. The trees around you are entirely your choice. If it's day or night, again, it's entirely your choice. But you're standing and you notice a path in front of you. And you decide to follow the path because it seems like a good idea. So you walk between the trees and you notice any wildlife that you might see. Pay attention because the animals that you might see could be your subconscious trying to send you a message. As you're walking along the path, you notice how calm and peaceful everything feels. There's no other people, it's just you and the wood and the wildlife. After some time, you reach a clearing, and in the middle of the clearing stands a single hawthorn tree. Now you've always been taught to be afraid of these trees, thinking that the fairies will come and get you, but this tree is okay. You're going to meet the spirit of the hawthorn tree, specifically this one in front of you. It may be in full blossom, or it may not. It may be covered in haws ready for the rest of the year. Whichever is perfectly right for you in this moment and at this time. You choose to sit down with your back against the trunk so you can feel the wood behind you, supporting you and keeping you safe. After a while, a figure appears in your peripheral vision. This is the spirit of the hawthorn tree. He, she or they will take whatever form they need to make sure that you're comfortable with them. Now, I want you to greet this spirit. Tell them your name and a little bit about yourself. Tell them why you're here, what brought you here. And now, I want you to ask the spirit of the hawthorn tree a question. It could be simple, it could be a bit more complex, but it's something that you've perhaps been tussling with lately and that you need a little bit of extra guidance on. Once you've asked your question, simply listen to the answer. The spirit will give you their answer in whatever form feels best for them. So they may speak it, they may sing it, they may dance it. It may just be images that arise in your mind. But pay attention to what they say. Don't question it, just let them give you their answer. When you feel that they're done, they will hold out their hand, and in their hand will be an object, and this is a gift for you. Pay attention to what form this gift takes, because again, this will be a symbol from your mind through the spirit to yourself. Thank the spirit for their time and for their generous gift, and bid them goodbye. If you want to do this meditation again, you may choose to tell them that you will see them again. They wave you farewell and you leave the clearing, following the path back in the direction that you came in. Again, as you did on the way in, pay attention to any wildlife, any birds that you may see, any messages, anything that stands out for you, because this again can be symbols from your own mind coming through into this dream space. And I want you to follow the path all the way back to the edge of the wood where you began. You feel refreshed and you feel satisfied with the encounter that you've had. And now I want you to wiggle your fingers and toes, not in the imaginary version, but actually wiggle your fingers and toes to help start to bring yourself back to present time and space. Maybe wiggle around a little in your seat or where you're lying down. And when you feel ready, open your eyes and come back to the room. Welcome back. I do hope you enjoyed that meditation, and do let me know what came up for you if you feel called to share it.